Hey everybody, welcome to the Fantasy Football Endgame waiver wire picks for quarterback heading into week 8. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all those great things because you know what? We're here to help you every single week, help you win. I'm going to tell you about the top quarterbacks that you might want to stream and play this coming week. And you know that there's some big names on bye, including Kyler Murray. So let's get to it. Counting down my top 5, starting with number 5. And let's start with none other than Tua Tagovailoa. And you know what? This is really just an excuse for me to talk about my boy Tua because I am a lifelong Dolphins fan. Finally, we're going to have our franchise quarterback, the next Dan Marino. Basically, of course, there is no other Dan Marino, but he'll be the next best thing. Okay, we'll see. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But you know what? There's got to be some excitement for him, even in fantasy, because see what he can do. Fitzpatrick, I know he's been putting up big numbers, but let's face it, he was a placeholder. We knew this all along. Okay, Tua is the future, and now he's the present. I wouldn't get overly excited, especially this week. That's why I have him at number 5, because not just that it's his first start. You never want to really roll out a rookie in his first start, never knowing what to expect. But it's also not a good matchup. Going against the Rams, they are a top 10 pass defense. They have a guy named Aaron Donald there. So I would not trust Tua, even in a 2 quarterback or single flex, super flex league. I don't know that I would really take a chance unless you absolutely have to. There's a lot of risk here. I'm not saying he's going to put up Sam Darnold-like numbers like from last week, but again, this is just a desperation play, honestly, unless, like I said, if you're in a super flex league. But I did have to give a shout out to my boy Tua making his first start. Let's see how it goes. All right, but number 4 here, next guy that you might want to actually consider streaming. Hopefully, you have some of the other guys available, but I have Baker Mayfield. Now, you might think coming off a 5-touchdown game, he would be higher on the list, but there's 2 problems. Number 1, he has a bye going into week 9. So if you do add him, it's a 1-week rental basically because you're going to have to drop him and get somebody else. That's never your first choice. But also, we really don't know what's going to happen. The question, of course, what's this offense going to look like, not only without Nick Chubb, but now without Odell Beckham, his top receiver. So you might be surprised to know that what we saw yesterday, it could keep happening, which is they actually might perform better without Odell Beckham, specifically Mayfield, right? I don't know about the offense as a whole. We'll see. When Chubb comes back, you know it's going to be a run-first offense. This is what they want. But really, Baker Mayfield, in his brief career, he really has performed better without Odell Beckham. If you go to the splits, you look that in games without Beckham, he actually averages 40 more yards per game and 0.3 touchdowns per game. All right. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up over time. And there is proof that he actually is more efficient. And you saw it on the field in week 7. I mean, he's not going to throw 5 touchdowns again. I doubt that's going to happen. I don't know that it's going to be a shootout coming into this week. It's going to be a different matchup. But don't give up on Baker Mayfield. I just say just because Beckham's out, we could see him a more efficient version of Mayfield because he's going to have to, out of necessity, check it down more often, throw the tight ends more often. You already saw that. Once Austin Hooper comes back in week 10, probably, maybe, it would be surprising to see Mayfield kind of have that consistent QB2 value that we would hope. I don't know if he's ever going to reach his ceiling as a QB1 in this league. I don't think so. But he's streamable this week. Let's just put it that way. The other side of the coin there, that same matchup between the Raiders and the Browns, I have my number 3 quarterback is Derek Carr. You know, with Derek Carr, you know what you're getting. You're going to get right around 300 yards, usually a little bit under. He's going to give you at least 1 touchdown, probably 2, usually not 3 or 4. He's not going to turn the ball over, and that's the main thing. So if you're in a league that penalizes heavily for turnovers, you're never streaming Daniel Jones, you do want Derek Carr. He's always solid. Is he going to give you one of those weeks that's going to win you your week? No, he's not going to do like Mayfield with the 5 touchdowns. He's also not going to kill you, right? He'll never sink your team. He's not going to go under 200 yards, multiple turnovers. It's kind of nice sometimes to have a guy that you just know you can count on. He's going to give you steady production. You're going against the Browns defense. That's a pretty good matchup. It wouldn't shock me to see him go over 300 yards in this game. So I got Derek Carr number 3. Number 2, slightly ahead of him, is a guy that I usually don't recommend unless it's a good matchup. Well, it's a good matchup for Jimmy Garoppolo. That team, we don't know what to make of that offense anymore, especially the running game. But let's just forget that running back situation, save that for another video. The quarterback situation is now settled. He's back. He's healthy. He's starting to look better. We knew the numbers were not going to be good this past week against New England because New England's defense, that's the one thing they got going for them now these days, is their pass defense. So yeah, predictably, he didn't do very well. 2 interceptions, didn't throw a touchdown, but this is a much better matchup going against their division rival Seattle, which, as you know, without having to look too deep into the statistics, give up a lot of points, especially through the air. All right, not just against good teams like Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, but against pretty much everybody. So there's a good chance Garoppolo has a monster week. And with all the injuries, again, the running back situation there, I think they're going to have to throw the ball, especially because we know Russ on the other side is going to put up points. So definitely like Garoppolo as a streamer this week. But the number one choice has to be Teddy B because he's going against the actual worst defense there is, the Falcons. I think the Seahawks statistically give up the most against quarterbacks or receivers. The Falcons are just terrible. Let's just get right to it, okay? So you want to stream constantly against the Falcons if possible. Teddy B, I know, didn't have a great week before. He kind of bounced back, was decent this week. Don't worry, he will be just fine against Atlanta. In week 5, when these teams met, he went for 313 yards and 2 touchdowns. There's no reason he can't do it again. So I have full confidence Teddy B should be your number one streaming choice and waiver wire pickup at the quarterback position for week 8. If you want a word on all the best waiver wire ads for all those other positions, guess what? Got them here too. So just stay tuned in here, hit subscribe, hit the little bell notification, and you'll see all our videos as soon as they pop up. So check those out. And speaking of Odell Beckham, don't forget Chris's video explaining that whole situation. What's going to happen with the Browns offense now that Odell Beckham is gone? All right, so don't miss that either. Thanks for watching, guys.